sa Croatia.
Isnapin mo pa
Ay,
sana.
Karyang, say hello to my vlog. And how about you? What's your name?
I'm Stephanie. Please follow my Instagram, sasurienta25.
Sabay ka.
Walang booking.
Ikaw gan. Paghasad gan.
Ay, bahala mo din sa...
And myself.
Dobruvnik in Croatia, day 3.
Yeah.
What's your name? Yahoo! This is the theme for today. We're going to Game of Thrones. Kaya lang, parang mali ako ng pasok eh.
Everybody, I just wanted to say good morning. My name is Jelena, which is Elena, Helena, Ellen, Helen, or whatever makes it easy for you to pronounce and memorize the name of your side. So this is going to be 2 hours-ish. We have some stairs to cover along the way. When you see the stairs, please don't panic. It never gets any easier even for us locals. So bear with me and trust me that the views are totally worth it from the top of the fortress, which naturally means that we need to reach the top. So hopefully you had a breakfast or at the least a cup of coffee because you want to get promised you're going to need the fuel in the city. Family or friends? We always shop together. Okay. Is it working well? Okay. What I've learned from my family is that you have to be close with California, magnet too close. So Steve, the group of my colleague over there, he's going to camp there for
Day
at least
3. Day 3 in Croatia.
Canada as well. Sansa, Arya, Bran and Jon Snow leaving King's Landing saying his goodbyes. This scene was being filmed precisely here where I'm standing during the last week of October. If you ever decide to visit us in October, this is the weather. So clouds, rain, thunderstorms, choppy sea. This is basically our rain season and this is when not to visit, literally. Because it's pretty miserable, honestly. Now, these ships that you have seen probably hundreds of times throughout their seasons, do you remember the Iron Fleet?
Yes.
Iron Fleet, historically speaking, would have been produced here because these ships are. We call them caraca. In English literature, English history books, you will actually find them under the name of Argos. Spanish, Portuguese under the name of Caravelle. Okay, so this is a Blackwater Bay battle. I don't know if I'm able to stretch your memory this far back. Do you remember once King Robert died, they were basically all fighting to claim the throne? Now, wildfire was actually not George R. R. Martin's invention at all. Wildfire existed through the history. It was called the Greek fire because Greeks have used it to fight the Romans once upon a time. So he basically just borrowed that historical idea so he could implement it into his books and later in the series. However, the angle of the camera for this specific scene was looking on that balcony in the left corner where the flowers are, looking down towards the bay. Reason, Dobruvnik is under UNESCO protection as a heritage site ever since 1979. That literally means that you cannot blow things around here. You can't do any sort of explosions whatsoever. They're all strictly forbidden. So all of the explosions over the years were actually done in the studios, and then a post-battle scene is here. So my guess is, from this angle, you could easily figure out how they've played slightly, meaning this gigantic rock where these boys are about to jump from is actually here in the corner. They elevated the foundations of the city walls just so they could actually place the Red Keep on top. And regarding the Red Keep, it does not exist anywhere in the world. Nobody knows the inspiration behind the building. It had a slightly annoying habit of walking around my city. And when I say that, at one point I'm finding sitting on top of the city wall. Second time standing on top of the St. Lawrence Fortress. Third time on top of the mountain where the cable car is running, in the woods behind the altar. So if you were local by season 5, you were a very confused, if not a slightly schizophrenic person, because you're watching and something is constantly wrong. So you had to press pause, you had to rewind, you had to rewatch a couple of episodes a few times over just to figure out what it is here. Now, I need you to pay attention towards one thing. You see these boys running around and playing? Local children. This particular scene was being filmed here in 2011. Time flies, we're all older. 2011, nobody here has seen the Game of Thrones, I promise you. We started watching the series halfway until season 3. You remember that time frame roughly when Joffrey slowly started to annoy us all? We were all waiting for him to die. That is when we got popular characters. I promise you it wasn't before. So these kids were simply running around and playing as they would do in any community around the world. And then the director was like, well, as long as you're there, we might as well film you. They approached the parents, asking them for permission to do it. The parents, 2011, not knowing anything about the HBO or the Game of Thrones, they were like, well, they're really there anyhow. You just go ahead, give them some candy, some chocolate, some ice cream, they're fine. So what I'm trying to say here is that this wasn't for kids anymore. They're 21, 22, 23 roughly. If you decide to hang out in any of these pubs in the evening, you get to meet them because they're literally from the neighborhood and of legal age to drink these days. So you will rarely see them in the church these days, that's what I'm trying to say. But anyhow, just so you know, they didn't profit a single US dollar from the HBO because embarrassingly enough to admit, this early on we failed to realize what the HBO stands for. This was the first biggest production we've ever had here. We didn't know how to approach them, we didn't know how to handle them properly. And just so you could understand how naive we were back in the day, halfway until season 2, we didn't even charge them the location fee. And in some of your countries over there that is unheard of. So usually to answer the very first question, how come they started filming here? Because we were cheap. Honestly, like worse than cheap, free of charge to begin with, and then
Para nagpinitin siya lang guys, no? Kapagod tong tour na to.
as a way of threatening her. And that's a scene when Cersei loses it, and I love the way she would use it for one reason. Every single character here at some point got seriously aggressive, and they were all throwing tantrums, screaming, shouting, cutting somebody's head, being really violent. And she was always so perfectly calm, ladylike, well-mannered, never lost a nerve, and more importantly, you've never seen her smile. If you decide to rewatch the series, what you'll easily figure out is that this woman for 8 seasons did not properly smile once. I don't know how she was able to pull it off as actress, but the best thing you've seen is a smirk in the angle of her lips, and that's when you're supposed to kill somebody. And I love how simple they've done it. So, angle of the camera for this scene was literally behind your back, looking towards us here. All of a sudden, she'll lose it. They'll switch the equipment to the second floor where these reflectors are looking down on us, and we just need to switch the places. So I just need you to look on this way. About an hour. Oh, you were fast. That's why it was sorry. So it usually takes an hour and a half up to 2 hours to do the full round, just to get the rest of the exactly. So we'll just have my colleague finish over there, and then we'll stand closer to the edge. The walls actually surround the entire area of the old town within a radius of nearly 2 kilometers. To walk those walls, unless you'd like to run around, it takes an hour and a half up to 2 hours. Now there are some stairs along the way. It's not particularly light walk, I would say. You need comfortable shoes and a book of water. Silver lining is you have 3 little bars along the way, and these bars really help with the experience. So you could sit, grab a drink, take your shoes off, lift your feet up, pray to God the stairs don't continue, and they will, I promise you, but it is totally worth it. Now, the best time to walk the wall is 8 o'clock in the morning, sharp, because it's less busy and less walking. Cruise ship guests will usually start walking the wall around 9 o'clock, and cruise ship guests have a short window of time to, so naturally they would want to cover as many as they can. So everywhere from like 9 until 1 or 2 p.m. it gets incredibly busy. Then now you literally get what kids do, because kids looking towards local miners over there, and all of these people were hired from the city to play the extras for that event. Now, do you actually understand how young Jack Leeson was here? He was 15 here and then 17 when his character died. And have you heard any rumors that he, back in the day, gave up acting after this? Yeah. Do you know why?
Because he was so hated?
Yes, because people are so weird, and this is the answer. Like, he was 17, he's a former years. He started traveling all around the world, started being famous, doing these comic cons and promoting the series. All of a sudden, people started identifying him from his characters. He was fully false. He started succeeding, crafting emails. People would shout
mukbang ng seafood. Shrimp, fish. Ay, may lemon pala. Lemon for the fish, squid. Ay, ano pala to? Crips pala to. Di pala to shrimp. Di ba, gang?
Iba pala?
Crips. Yeah. First, yung squid. Ulang ng potato. Isda, shrimp. Ito ang kakainin. Haba kaya na nilakad ko kanina, no? Wala man lang sa rice dito, no?
Wala. Wala ko nakita sa mga menu. Puro dark.
Crips pala to, akala ko shrimp. Ah, may tuna, tsaka may salmon. Sarap. Tapos,
Oo, kanatuna.
ito, salmon. Kaya hindi na ako masyado sa salmon kasi sa Norway puro salmon. Parang malamig na. Gitugnaw na ako. Kasi tabi ng dagat. May mushroom. Pwede kamain ng crips. That's alright. Tapos yung recommended nila na beer.